Your next AI risk may not look like a layoff email. It may look like a job posting that never comes back. You still have your badge, you still have your laptop, your paycheck still arrives, but the team is smaller, the open role stays empty, the raise gets pushed to the next cycle, and your job quietly becomes bigger without a new title. That is the practical risk for a middle-class household. If you are paying a mortgage, funding a 401k, helping a child get closer to college, or just trying to keep a family budget stable, the question is not only, will AI take my job? The more useful question is, will AI change how my company counts people? Here is the signal. In Meta's own earnings discussion, AI infrastructure, personal and business agents, rising investment needs, a leaner operating model, and a planned reduction in the employee base appeared in the same management conversation. That does not prove direct AI replacement, but it does show why workers should pay attention. AI is moving from a product demo into the way companies discuss capacity, cost, and headcount, and that is the conflict today. Employees often see AI as a faster tool. Management may see it as a new staffing equation. So in this episode, we are not going to chase every AI announcement. We are going to follow one chain. AI gets better at tasks. Companies raise productivity expectations, managers rethink backfills and hiring plans, and households feel the pressure through workload, promotions, bargaining power, and job security. The first piece of the story is the technology signal. Google described its I/O 2026 moment as the agentic Gemini era. You do not need to memorize the product names. The important shift is simple. AI is moving from answer my question toward handle this task. The company described agents and developer tools that can work in the background, use tools, execute code, and operate inside workflows. For a household, the issue is not whether one demo looked impressive. The issue is what this kind of product direction allows a manager to ask. A chatbot helps one employee move faster. An agent raises a different question. Which parts of this workflow can be delegated, repeated, monitored, and scaled? That is why the money matters too. Alphabet said its 2026 capital spending would be roughly $180 to $190 billion, mostly for technical infrastructure. That does not mean payroll dollars are being directly moved into machines. It does show that AI is becoming infrastructure, not a side experiment. Once something becomes infrastructure, companies try to use it, measure it, and justify it. That is when a technology story starts becoming a household story. Now translate that into ordinary work. The old AI story was assistance. The new AI story is delegation. Assistance means a worker uses a tool to finish the same job faster. Delegation means a company asks whether a chain of tasks can be handed to a system, supervised by fewer people, and repeated across more work. This does not require science fiction. Think about the small pieces inside a normal office job. A report has to be drafted. A spreadsheet has to be cleaned. Customer questions have to be sorted. A code change has to be tested. A weekly summary has to be prepared. A manager has to check status across several systems. None of those tasks is a full career by itself, but many white-collar jobs are built from dozens of those pieces. When enough pieces become faster, the job may not disappear. It can become denser. One person may be expected to supervise more output. A team may be expected to cover more tickets, more reports, more campaigns, or more releases without adding people. That is where the AI debate often misses the household impact. People argue about whether AI can replace an entire analyst, engineer, support manager, accountant, or operations lead. But inside a company budget, the first question may be much quieter. Do we need to replace the person who left? That is the second hook in this story. The real question is not, can AI do my job? The real question is, can AI change the staffing plan around my job? Because staffing plans become workload. Workload affects performance reviews. Performance reviews affect raises. Raises affect confidence. And confidence affects the choices a family makes long before anyone is laid off. Here's the company math. First, AI productivity creates a capacity claim. Someone inside the company says, this team can now do more. Second, capacity planning asks how much work the existing team can absorb. Third, the backfill decision arrives. If one person leaves, does the company replace that role, delay it, downgrade it, or cancel it? Fourth, the promotion ladder gets tighter, because fewer openings often mean fewer chances to move up. That is how a workflow tool can become a household budget signal. Here is how it can sound inside a planning meeting. No one has to say, replace people with AI. They can say, our current team handled the quarter better than expected. They can say, let's keep this role open until until we understand the new workflow. They can say, next year's plan assumes productivity gains. Each sentence sounds reasonable by itself. Together, they can reset the baseline for everyone on the team. That baseline is what families need to notice, because it can become the new standard before anyone calls it a restructuring and before a household has time to adjust its plan. That matters, not because every job disappears, because the path around the job changes. A company buying AI tools usually wants one of three outcomes: more revenue, lower cost, or faster execution. Sometimes that creates new work and new teams, but sometimes it creates a very practical management question. If people can do more with AI, should we keep hiring at the old pace? That question may not show up as a headline. It may show up as a missing posting. It may show up as a department that pauses hiring while another budget line grows. It may show up as one resignation that never gets replaced. It may show up as a performance review where AI usage becomes part of the standard. It may show up as the same target with fewer people carrying it. This is why the backfill is so important. A layoff is visible. A missing backfill is quiet. Your neighbors do not notice that a role was never posted. Your family may not notice it the first week either, but you notice it at 7:30 p.m. when you are still reviewing the AI output. You notice it when the exception cases come to you. You notice it when the tool handles the easy work, but the hard cleanup becomes your problem. Salesforce gives us a useful but limited example. The company said Agentforce handled more than 1 million customer conversations, and it described redeploying hundreds of support engineers while managing demand and headcount by not backfilling other roles. That does not prove every support job is going away. It is one company and one function, but it makes the mechanism visible. AI efficiency can become a staffing decision. Now let's make this concrete. Imagine an illustrative scenario. This is not a real person. It is a realistic composite. A 44-year-old operations manager lives in a regular American suburb. Her household has a mortgage, 2 car payments, a 401k, a teenager starting to talk about college, and a grocery bill that still feels too high. She is not anti-technology. She uses the AI tools her company provides. She knows they can save time. Then someone on her team leaves. In the old version of the company, that job would have been posted within a few weeks. In this version, her manager says, before we backfill, let's see what the new tools can absorb. At first, it sounds reasonable. Reports are faster. Draft emails are faster. Meeting notes are automatic. Some customer questions are routed by a system. A weekly summary that used to take half a day now takes an hour. But 3 months later, the open role is still not posted. The work did not vanish. It moved. Some of it moved to the tool, some of it moved to her, some of it moved to the rest of the team. Now she is reviewing AI outputs, fixing edge cases, training newer employees, answering escalations, and preparing the same executive updates with less help. At home, nothing looks dramatic. The paycheck still arrives, the mortgage is still paid, but the household starts acting more cautiously. Maybe they delay replacing the car, maybe they lower the summer travel budget, maybe they hold extra cash instead of increasing the 401k contribution. Maybe college planning feels more stressful because promotion timing is less predictable. And if she wants to change jobs, the outside market may feel different too. A job description may be wider than before. One posting may ask for operations experience, data analysis, AI workflow management, vendor coordination, and team leadership in the same role. That does not mean she is doomed. It means the price of staying employable may rise while the reward becomes less certain. That is why AI productivity can sound positive in a boardroom and heavy in a kitchen. The company sees output per employee. The family feels risk per paycheck. Now we need the boundary, because this topic is easy to overstate. Google's signal shows that major AI platforms are moving toward agents. It does not show that jobs are already being eliminated across the economy. Alphabet's spending signal shows that AI infrastructure is scaling up. It does not show that companies are directly moving wage dollars into chips. Meta's signal is stronger for this episode because AI agents, infrastructure spending, a leaner operating model, and a planned employee base reduction appeared together in the same earnings discussion. But even there, the safe conclusion is not AI replaced those workers. The safe conclusion is that AI is becoming part of the management conversation around scale, efficiency, and headcount. Salesforce gives the clearest workplace example because it connects agent efficiency, redeployment, and fewer backfills inside a real support organization, but it remains one company and one department. This distinction matters. If we overstate the evidence, we become a fear channel. If we understate it, families miss a real shift in how companies may manage work. The better framing is this: AI may automate tasks before it eliminates roles, but when enough tasks change, managers may redesign the role, shrink the team, slow the hiring plan, or raise the output target. A serious counterargument also deserves respect. AI may not reduce jobs overall. It may help employees do better work. It may create new products, new teams, new customer demand, and new categories of work. Some companies may use AI to grow, not shrink. Some employees may become more valuable because they combine judgment, customer knowledge, and AI tools. That counterargument is real. It is also why the honest question is not, will AI destroy white-collar work? The honest question is, which tasks inside my job are becoming cheaper, faster, or easier to scale? And how will my company respond? Microsoft AI CEO Mustafa Suleyman made a useful distinction after earlier comments about white-collar automation. The safer frame is tasks, not whole jobs. Sending an email, preparing a presentation, summarizing information, or drafting routine material can become faster without the entire role disappearing. But households should not stop there. If the tasks change enough, the job can still change. The company may not remove your title. It may remove the open position next to you. It may not cut your salary. It may reduce your raise. It may not lay you off. It may ask your team to hit next year's target with this year's headcount. So the risk is not only unemployment, the risk is weaker bargaining power. Now, what should you watch? First, watch backfills. If someone leaves your team, does the company replace that person quickly, slowly, or not at all? Does leadership say, let's wait and see what the new tools can absorb? Does a role disappear from the hiring plan without a formal announcement? For a household, this is one of the clearest early signals because it changes workload before it changes employment status. Second, watch performance language. A tool is optional until it enters goals, reviews, dashboards, or team targets. Listen for phrases like AI-assisted output, automation coverage, tickets per employee, reports per analyst, or engineering velocity. The exact words will vary by company. The important question is whether AI is still a helper or whether it has become the new productivity baseline. Third, watch promotion and hiring gaps. If your company says productivity is rising, but promotions are delayed, raises are smaller, and openings are harder to find, the benefit may be flowing more to the organization than to the worker. That does not mean you should quit. It means you should update your household risk plan. Keep your resume current. Track your AI-assisted wins. Build proof that you can manage the system, not just survive it. When you negotiate, talk about outcomes, not effort. These signals matter because they usually arrive before the big headline. A missing backfill, a wider job description, a new productivity metric, or a delayed promotion may tell you more about your future paycheck than a keynote demo ever will. Here is the middle-class signal checklist. 1. Did an open role on your team disappear instead of getting backfilled? 2. Did AI move from a helpful tool into a measured performance expectation? 3. Are promotions, raises, or hiring plans slowing while output targets keep rising? If the answer is yes to one of these, it is not time to panic. It is time to pay attention. If the answer is yes to all three, your household should treat AI as part of career risk planning, along with interest rates, health insurance costs, and retirement contributions. My judgment is narrow. AI agents do not prove that office work is collapsing, but they do change the questions managers can ask about work. And when managers ask new questions, household budgets eventually feel the answers. I do not predict the future. I read the AI signals before they hit your paycheck. This channel's promise is simple. I will keep translating AI, company strategy, capital spending, and job market signals into the language of work, wages, bills, mortgages, 401ks, and family decisions. Not hype, not panic, just the signals a middle-class household needs to see early.